It's so messed up. Honestly, I still can't believe it happened. Like, one minute I'm planning my future with my boyfriend, thinking about what kind of ring he's going to get me. The next, he's kicking me out in a snowstorm, all because of a question. Seriously? He dumped me over a question after 2 years together. I know how it sounds. Trust me. I get it. I've replayed the whole thing in my head a million times, trying to figure out where I went wrong. But I can tell you exactly what happened, start to finish. My name is Jane. I'm 29. And this is my story. I remember it so clearly. 2 years ago. It was late January and I was living in Pittsburgh. I was working a totally soul-crushing job as an assistant at this insurance office. And I was just, so over it. My friend dragged me to this lame sports bar on the south side because her cousin's band was playing. It was snowing. And I was so close to just staying home and watching Netflix. But thank God I didn't. Because that's where I met Dixon. He wasn't even supposed to be there. His friend bailed on him, but he just went anyway because the bar was close to his apartment. He walked in wearing this dark peacoat, and he had snowflakes melting in his hair. He wasn't loud or obnoxious like most guys at a bar. He was just calm. I don't know. He had this quiet confidence that I found so attractive. I was totally sneaking glances at him all night, and I swear he knew it because he finally came over. And he was such a gentleman. He asked me questions about myself instead of talking about how great he was, which, believe me, was a first for me. He walked me to my car when it was time to leave. And I remember thinking, this is it. This is the one. It sounds crazy, I know. But from that first night, I just had this feeling we were meant to be. The next couple of years felt like a fairy tale. We didn't really fight. He was so easygoing. And he worked in IT, so he had a stable job and he was smart. We had our little routine. We'd cook dinner together. We'd go hiking in the summer. And in the winter, we'd just binge watch shows with hot cocoa. He was so thoughtful. He always opened doors for me. And he never forgot my coffee order. He never made me feel like I had to compete for his attention. People always say chivalry is dead, but not with Dixon. He made me feel so safe. I never had to worry about him cheating on me, or being a jerk. I was so sure he was going to propose. I mean, we were living together, we had met each other's families, and we had our inside jokes. It felt like we were already married. Just without the paper, I was just waiting for the ring because in my head, we were already halfway to happily ever after. The holidays were perfect. We spent Christmas Eve with my family and Christmas dinner with his. We had our own little Christmas morning, just the two of us. I gave him a smartwatch he had been wanting, and he gave me this beautiful gold necklace with a heart charm. It was one of the best Christmases of my life. I had no idea that less than 48 hours later, I would be packing my bags. The day after Christmas, we were just chilling, still riding that holiday high. We had leftovers for lunch and made hot cocoa, and I was sipping on some leftover spiked eggnog from the night before. I'm not a big drinker, so it didn't take much for me to feel a little too uninhibited. I'd had this thought in my head for a few weeks, and in that moment, it just slipped out. I don't even remember exactly how I worded it, but it was something like, what would you think about us having an open relationship? The second the words left my mouth, I knew I had messed up. His whole expression changed. It was like all the holiday warmth just drained out of him. He put his cocoa down, looked at me like I had just slapped him, and asked, "Where is this coming from?" I tried to laugh it off, to make it sound like some random curiosity. I said it was just a question, that I wasn't saying I wanted to be with other people. I was just wondering if he had ever thought about it. But he went quiet. And then he said, "If you're even asking, then you're not the person I thought you were." We didn't talk much for the rest of the night. The next morning, he told me to pack my things, just like that. No fight, no discussion, just you need to go. It was snowing so hard that day. I remember standing on the curb with 2 suitcases, waiting for an Uber, and I felt so erased. I stayed at a hotel for a few days until my mom came home from Florida. She was furious, not at Dixon, but at me. She asked me, why on earth would you even ask that if you wanted to marry the guy? I didn't have a good answer for her. For the next month, I tried to fix it. I texted him. I called him. I even wrote him a letter. He either didn't respond or sent a short reply like, "It's over." He wouldn't even meet me for coffee. I kept thinking, it was just a question. I didn't cheat. I didn't sneak around. I just asked, but I guess to him, the fact that I even thought about it was enough to break the trust completely. I mean, what he did was so unfair. He just kicked me out and cut me off without even giving me a chance to explain. I had to move back in with my mom. All my stuff is still half in boxes because unpacking feels like admitting that this is permanent. I regret that question more than anything I've ever said in my life. I think I wasted 2 years on a man who maybe never loved me enough to forgive one stupid moment. But then again, maybe he did love me and that's why it hurt him so badly. I don't know anymore. All I know is that being single in the middle of winter in Pittsburgh is miserable, and starting over feels even worse. I guess I should tell you the real reason I asked that question. I told you in my first email that it wasn't because I stopped loving Dixon, but there was a small crush on another guy. His name was Mark, and I met him in a local Facebook group. It was completely harmless at first. He commented on one of my photos, and we started messaging occasionally. It was just friendly stuff. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't give me a little ego boost. I mean, I had a boyfriend who treated me well, but there's something about someone new noticing you that just hits different. As time went on, Dixon was working longer hours, and I found myself messaging Mark more. I told myself it was fine because I wasn't hiding it. I wasn't deleting messages or meeting him in person, but I started thinking about him more than I should have. I started daydreaming about what he would be like in person. He posted pictures of himself hiking and going to concerts, and I compared that to Dixon, who loved quiet nights, and Dixon was comforty. Mark was curiosity, and I let curiosity take over my brain. I know how ridiculous that sounds now. I can already hear people saying, if you love someone, you don't even think about being with someone else. And maybe they're right. At the time, I thought I was being mature by asking for an open relationship. I thought I was showing Dixon that I could communicate my feelings instead of sneaking around. But deep down, I just wanted permission to see if the grass was greener without actually having to lose what I already had. I romanticized a man I didn't even know and let that fantasy poison the reality I had. The truth is, if Dixon had said yes, I probably would have ruined things anyway. I can't imagine him being okay with me seeing someone else. And I can't imagine I would have been okay with him seeing someone else either. I was so selfish. I wanted to have my cake and eat it too. I underestimated how deeply he valued loyalty and exclusivity. To him, even asking meant I was already halfway out the door. And then, just last week, I found out he's dating someone else. I wasn't even looking for it. I've been trying to avoid his social media for months, but a suggested for you post popped up on Instagram. A picture of this girl at a coffee shop I recognized from a mutual friend's wedding. She was smiling, holding a latte with a heart design in the foam. And there he was, clear as day, sitting across from her. I clicked her profile, and that's when I saw it. Picture after picture of them together. Hiking at a Penguins game. Cooking dinner in what used to be our kitchen. They looked so happy and so comfortable. I just sat on my bed and ugly cried for 2 straight hours. I couldn't stop replaying everything. How fast he must have met her after I left. How quickly she slid into the spot I once held. It's just not fair. I mean, I'm the one who's still living with her mom and unpacking boxes, and he gets to move on and be happy with someone new. I've been caught in this toxic loop of checking her profile every morning like some kind of masochist. I analyze every single photo. The way his hand rests on her shoulder, the way he looks at her, the way she fits into his family pictures like she's been there forever. And the worst part is, she's gorgeous. Not Instagram model gorgeous, but natural, girl next door gorgeous. She seems so outdoorsy and adventurous. Exactly the type of person I once pretended to be when we first started dating. I've been comparing myself to her nonstop. She looks like she wakes up early to go jogging. I'm lucky if I'm up before 9. She bakes bread from scratch. I've been living off microwave dinners. She has this easy, bright energy, and I've been a storm cloud for months. I keep thinking, of course he chose her. She's everything I'm not right now. Seeing him with her brought back all the little things I had been trying to forget. How he'd make me coffee in the morning before work. How he'd rest his hand on my knee when we were watching a movie. All of those things. They're hers now, and it's my fault. I've replayed that day after Christmas a million times. That stupid question. That spiked eggnog. That crush on Mark. That wasn't even worth remembering. If I had just kept my mouth shut, maybe I'd still be in that apartment. People in the comments said I didn't value him until it was too late. And as much as it stings, they're right. I didn't realize how much he meant to me until I saw him holding someone else. I've been telling myself that one day I'll be the one in a happy relationship again. But right now, I'm not there. I'm still in the place where I scroll through old photos, reread old texts, and wonder how everything unraveled so fast. I think part of me believed he'd eventually forgive me, that no matter how much time passed, there'd be this invisible thread pulling us back together. But seeing him with her, that thread feels like it's been cut. I'm writing this because I think a lot of people, especially women like me, who think they're being modern or open-minded, underestimate what they have until it's gone. I thought a simple question couldn't undo 2 years of love and trust. I was wrong, and now I'm watching someone else live the life I thought I'd have.